Hello brothers and welcome to Sigma Old Man Channel. A Sigma male never tries to be everything, yet somehow ends up knowing a little too much about everything. That line alone explains why people can never quite figure him out. He's the guy who fixes a glitchy laptop, negotiates a heated argument, cooks a 5-star meal from scraps, and still has the audacity to claim, "I'm not really good at anything." Meanwhile, everyone around him is silently wondering if he's been collecting secret side quests his entire life. Here's the real twist. Psychologists say the human brain isn't built to master multiple unrelated skills at once. Yet Sigma males consistently break that rule. They absorb knowledge the way most people absorb gossip, quickly, unintentionally, and with suspicious accuracy. It's almost unfair how their curiosity leads them into skills they never planned to learn, and then they end up outperforming people who trained for years. But what makes it even more fascinating, and honestly a little funny, is that Sigma males don't even brag about it. While others advertise the one thing they're good at, the Sigma quietly collects a dozen competencies, like he's stocking up for an apocalypse no one else was informed about. This is why people label him a jack of all trades, but not in the watered-down cliché sense. It's because he operates like a human Swiss Army knife, unexpected, multifunctional, and slightly dangerous if you underestimate him. So let's dive into the real reasons, the ones nobody talks about. Why the Sigma male ends up mastering territories he never even intended to touch. These are the hidden mechanics behind the man who can rebuild his life, reinvent his tactics, and outthink half the room, all while pretending he's just figuring things out. Number 1, he has a mental library of mistakes. He actually uses Sigma males don't treat mistakes like most people do. While the average person buries failures under shame, forgetfulness, or excuses, the Sigma files every misstep like it's a chapter in a playbook. Each failed attempt, each awkward encounter, each strategy that backfired is stored meticulously in his mind, analyzed from every angle, and catalogued for future reference. The brilliance lies in how he doesn't just remember them, he repurposes them. Failures become ammunition, lessons and shortcuts that others could never even imagine using. What sets him apart is the ruthlessness of this system. He doesn't sugarcoat the past or rationalize errors. He dissects them with almost surgical precision. If he lost money by trusting the wrong person, he doesn't just shrug it off. He studies what signals he missed, what patterns he ignored, and what behavior he failed to anticipate. That loss isn't just an anecdote, it's a training module in his internal curriculum. By the time most people are still reeling from a setback, he's already turned it into insight that prevents the same mistake from happening again. This mental library isn't just about personal growth, it's strategic. Every mistake he's ever made becomes a tool to navigate unpredictable situations with uncanny accuracy. He knows when to push, when to wait, and when to pivot, because he has already run through countless scenarios in his mind, thanks to his willingness to remember and learn from failure. This is why Sigma males often seem almost preternaturally composed in chaos. They've mentally rehearsed the missteps everyone else is blindly repeating. And there's a subtle layer of advantage that most people miss. While others fear failure, Sigma males embrace it without ego or panic. Every mistake becomes a quiet whisper of power. I've seen this before, and I know exactly what to do. It's the reason he can walk through life appearing effortlessly competent, even in unfamiliar territory. He's not lucky. He's the result of a deliberate accumulation of wisdom gained the hard way, by turning every failure into a tool he can wield whenever he chooses. Number 2, his intelligence isn't linear. It's web-shaped. Sigma males don't think in straight lines. Most people process information step by step, building knowledge in neat sequences until they reach an answer. The Sigma, however, thinks like a spider weaving a web. Ideas, skills, and experiences from completely unrelated areas connect in his mind, forming a network of insights that often seems impossible to outsiders. He can take lessons from a failed business deal, a heated personal argument, and a random technical skill he learned online, and suddenly see patterns nobody else notices. That's the power of web-shaped intelligence. It doesn't just accumulate knowledge, it multiplies it. This kind of thinking makes him unpredictable and incredibly effective. While specialists focus narrowly, the Sigma draws on multiple disciplines at once, creating solutions that feel like instinctive genius. A problem that would stump a linear thinker becomes manageable because he can link it to something else he already knows. His brain naturally bridges gaps that most people wouldn't even recognize, combining abstract reasoning with practical knowledge in real time. The result is an uncanny ability to adapt, innovate, and make decisions faster than almost anyone around him. What makes it even more extraordinary is how effortless it looks. He doesn't need formulas or step-by-step guides. He intuitively connects dots that others can't even see. That gives him an edge in almost every arena, from work to personal relationships to unpredictable life challenges. The web-shaped intelligence also explains why Sigma males are often underestimated. They rarely boast about their skills or knowledge, but their minds are quietly constructing networks of insight that make them far more capable than anyone realizes. This isn't just intelligence, it's intelligence with an amplifying structure. Each piece of information, every skill, every observation is a node in a mental network that enhances every other node. That's why Sigma males can perform in seemingly unrelated areas with precision and confidence. Their thinking is less about following a path and more about creating a map that continuously expands, connecting everything they encounter into a system that's smarter, faster, and far more flexible than ordinary linear minds. Number 3, he learns skills to protect his freedom. For Sigma males, every skill isn't just a tool, it's a form of independence. While most people learn to impress others, earn approval, or climb social ladders, the Sigma acquires knowledge and abilities to ensure he's never trapped, reliant, or controlled. Cooking, fixing things, negotiating, strategizing, each skill adds another layer of personal freedom. The more he can do on his own, the less the world can dictate how he lives. The less he's at the mercy of circumstance, and the less anyone can manipulate him. This mindset changes the way he approaches learning. He doesn't pick up a skill to add another notch on a resume or to win praise. He picks it up because it makes him untouchable in his own life. If everyone else depends on networks, resources, or authority to survive, he thrives because he has built his own internal infrastructure. That self-reliance isn't just about survival. It's about creating a life where he answers to no one. Every new ability expands the perimeter of his autonomy. The result is a Sigma who moves through the world with a quiet, almost invisible power. Others scramble, negotiate, or beg for help when life gets complicated. He rarely needs to. He has the skills, the knowledge, and the foresight to navigate situations alone, and that makes him extraordinarily hard to influence or control. Even in chaos, he maintains composure because his independence isn't situational. It's built into him through deliberate preparation. There's also an unexpected elegance to this approach. While the world obsesses over status symbols, alliances, and validations, the Sigma is focused on freedom itself. Every skill is a shield against dependency, every lesson a brick in the foundation of self-sufficiency. He doesn't flaunt it, yet the effect is unmistakable. A man who cannot easily be cornered, coerced, or restrained. His life becomes a reflection of his abilities, each one reinforcing the simple truth he lives by. Freedom is earned, maintained, and protected through mastery. That's why the Sigma male isn't just versatile. He's almost impossible to pin down, because every new skill makes him less controllable and more sovereign in a world designed to tie people down. Number 4, he is a natural competence collector. Sigma. Males don't chase hobbies, accolades, or social validation. They chase competence. Every skill they acquire, every ability they master, isn't about showing off. It's about expanding the range of what they can control, understand, and execute. They collect competencies the way others collect trophies, but their collection isn't for admiration. It's a private arsenal, a personal guarantee that no matter the situation, they can handle it with precision. This instinct isn't learned. It's wired into how they navigate the world. What makes this remarkable is the sheer diversity of their collection. A Sigma might be skilled in negotiation, coding, self-defense, cooking, writing, and financial strategy, all at the same time. To outsiders, it can seem random, chaotic, or even excessive. To the Sigma, it's a deliberate accumulation of tools. Each skill adds flexibility, a hidden advantage that allows him to operate in spaces where others would struggle. While specialists can dominate one arena, the Sigma thrives across multiple arenas without ever losing focus. The way he collects these competencies is subtle yet relentless. He observes, experiments, and practices quietly, often mastering a skill without anyone realizing it. There's no ego involved, no need for approval. He simply identifies value, recognizes utility, and incorporates it. It's a systematic process disguised as curiosity or casual interest, but the outcome is formidable. He becomes someone who can adapt faster than anyone around him because his mental and practical toolkit is so expansive. This habit of collecting competence gives the Sigma a level of freedom and security most people never achieve. He doesn't have to rely on others or external systems because he has the internal capacity to handle almost anything life throws at him. The cumulative effect is a man who appears effortlessly capable, almost preternaturally prepared, and quietly untouchable. Each new skill, each new ability, reinforces his autonomy, making him not just versatile, but dangerously self-sufficient. Competence isn't just power for the Sigma male. It's survival, sovereignty, and an invisible force that shapes his life on his own terms. Number 5, he has a ruthlessly honest self-awareness about his weaknesses. Sigma males possess a level of self-awareness that is both rare and formidable. Unlike most people who spend their lives avoiding, excusing, or hiding their weaknesses, the Sigma confronts them with brutal honesty. He catalogues them meticulously, not to dwell on failure, but to understand where he is vulnerable and what tools he needs to cover those gaps. Every insecurity, flaw, or blind spot becomes a data point, a strategic insight, and a blueprint for improvement. This isn't self-criticism for its own sake. It's a calculated method of self-preservation and growth. What makes this trait extraordinary is how proactive it is. He doesn't wait for a weakness to be exposed or exploited by others. He identifies it first, studies it, and finds ways to neutralize it before it can ever cause damage. If he struggles with social manipulation, he studies human behavior to outmaneuver it. If he lacks a certain technical skill, he acquires it quietly until the gap no longer exists. By facing himself with such uncompromising honesty, the Sigma turns vulnerabilities into advantages, weaknesses into stepping stones for mastery. This level of self-awareness also feeds into his efficiency. He doesn't waste energy pretending to be perfect or attempting to impress others in areas where he isn't strong. Instead, he channels his efforts where they matter, building competence in the places that actually enhance his freedom and power. The combination of ruthless honesty and targeted action allows him to move through life with confidence that is grounded, not inflated. There's a subtle but potent edge to this trait. People often underestimate him because he doesn't boast, but beneath the calm exterior lies someone who has dissected himself with precision and knows exactly how to operate in any situation. This self-awareness makes him adaptive, nearly impossible to manipulate, and capable of navigating challenges that would overwhelm others. For the Sigma male, knowing himself fully isn't a philosophical exercise. It's a survival mechanism, a strategy, and an invisible form of power that ensures he is always prepared, always aware, and always in control of his own destiny. Number 6, he doesn't fear reinvention. He craves it. Sigma males thrive on transformation. While most people cling to comfort zones, familiar routines, and predictable identities, the Sigma actively seeks reinvention. He doesn't see life as a single path to follow, but as a series of experiments in which he tests different versions of himself, learning, adapting, and evolving along the way. Each reinvention is deliberate, not accidental. It's a conscious reshaping of skills, mindset, and behavior designed to expand his reach and control over life. This craving for reinvention makes him incredibly adaptable. When circumstances shift or challenges arise, he doesn't panic or resist. He changes, almost fluidly, in a way that feels effortless to outsiders. That adaptability isn't just practical, it's strategic. Reinvention allows the Sigma to stay ahead of the competition, the social expectations, and the systems designed to confine him. By refusing to stay fixed, he maintains an edge that others, trapped by routines and fear of judgment, can never achieve. Reinvention also fuels his mastery of multiple skills. Each time he reinvents himself, he steps into new roles, learns new disciplines, and absorbs new knowledge. He isn't doing it for recognition or to fit in. He does it to grow, to expand his autonomy, and to ensure that no external force can pin him down. This continual evolution keeps him versatile and unpredictable. People around him may never fully understand the full scope of his abilities because he's constantly reshaping and expanding his personal skill set. There's a psychological power to this as well. By embracing change, the Sigma turns uncertainty into opportunity. He doesn't fear loss, failure, or the unknown. He uses them as catalysts for transformation. This makes him unshakable, resilient, and quietly formidable. Reinvention isn't a one-time act for him. It's a lifestyle, a mindset, and a principle that ensures he is always growing, always ahead, and always free. The Sigma male's desire to reinvent himself is not just a trait. It's the engine that drives his versatility, his independence, and his unmatched ability to thrive in any environment. Number 7, he learns skills out of boredom, not necessity. Sigma males have a restless mind that refuses to sit still. While most people wait for necessity or a crisis to force them into learning something new, the Sigma acts preemptively, driven by sheer curiosity and a need to escape monotony. He experiments, tinkers, and explores skills that may seem completely unrelated to his life or goals, but each one quietly adds to his versatility. The drive isn't practical at first. It's almost mischievous, a way to keep himself engaged and entertained. But the result is a mind and skill set far beyond what most people ever achieve. This tendency makes him exceptionally unpredictable. Because he isn't following a plan, his learning path looks random, even chaotic, yet it consistently produces results. Coding, cooking, self-defense, mechanics, psychology. He dives into things not because he must, but because he can't resist the challenge. That boredom, which would cripple most people, becomes the Sigma's secret accelerator. Every hobby, side project, or random skill becomes another arrow in his quiver, ready for any situation life throws at him. There's also an underlying advantage that goes unnoticed by others. Since he isn't learning to impress, compete, or conform, he absorbs knowledge faster and more deeply. Ego doesn't interfere. Social validation doesn't dictate pace. The Sigma learns purely for mastery and curiosity, which makes his skill set both expansive and resilient. By the time a crisis arises, he isn't scrambling. He already has tools, experience, and instincts honed in moments of sheer boredom. Ultimately, what sets the Sigma male apart is how he converts what most see as trivial curiosity into tangible competence. Boredom isn't a weakness for him, it's a trigger, a signal to explore, experiment, and expand. Through this, he becomes a master of versatility, a problem solver, and an almost invisible force of adaptability that others only notice when it's too late. What begins as idle exploration ends as extraordinary capability. Number 8, he reverse engineers people the same way. He reverse engineers machines. Sigma males don't stop at the surface. While most people see actions, decisions, or behaviors and accept them at face value, the Sigma instinctively dissects everything. He doesn't just learn a task or a skill. He studies the patterns, motivations, and structures that make it work. Just as he might take apart a machine to understand its inner mechanics, he analyzes people, systems, and interactions to uncover the hidden blueprint behind them. This isn't manipulation, it's comprehension. He wants to know the why and how behind everything, and once he does, he's no longer reacting blindly. He's acting with understanding and precision. This ability gives him a unique edge in almost every environment. In social settings, he can read motivations, anticipate reactions, and navigate complex dynamics effortlessly. In professional or technical situations, he identifies inefficiencies, predicts outcomes, and optimizes processes without relying on instructions or guidance. Most people operate linearly, following steps they've been taught or imitating what others do. The Sigma doesn't just follow, he reconstructs, reinterprets, and internalizes the underlying principles, so he can adapt instantly when conditions change. What makes this even more remarkable is how subconscious it often is. He doesn't announce that he's analyzing or deconstructing. It happens naturally. Conversations, behaviors, and events become raw data for his mind, each detail feeding into a mental model he constantly refines. Over time, this creates a kind of situational foresight. He can navigate uncertainty because he understands the building blocks beneath it. Ultimately, this reverse engineering approach transforms him into someone extraordinarily capable and self-reliant. While others might struggle to adapt or be caught off guard, the Sigma male sees the patterns, understands the mechanics, and positions himself advantageously. He doesn't just react, he anticipates, predicts, and controls outcomes, all because he refuses to accept anything at face value and insists on understanding the blueprint behind everything he encounters. Number 9, he has a habit of accidentally mastering things. Sigma males rarely aim to be experts, and yet mastery seems to follow them wherever they go. They don't pursue skills for recognition, competition, or validation. Instead, they dive into tasks with curiosity, overanalyzing, questioning, and dissecting every step until competence naturally emerges. What begins as casual experimentation or quiet interest often turns into a skill they wield effortlessly, leaving others wondering how they became so capable without even trying. This accidental mastery comes from the way the Sigma mind processes information. They think deeply, not linearly, and often overcomplicate problems, not out of arrogance, but out of a relentless drive to fully understand. By the time most people are still practicing basic steps, the Sigma has already uncovered shortcuts, hidden patterns, and efficiencies that elevate him far beyond casual competence. Overthinking, in his case, isn't a flaw, it's the engine of expertise. Another reason this happens is that Sigma males rarely limit themselves. They explore multiple interests simultaneously, connecting ideas from one field to another, often without conscious effort. These crossovers accelerate learning and produce unexpected proficiency. A skill picked up as a side curiosity in one context can suddenly become a tool of mastery in another, creating the illusion that he's naturally talented at everything. The truth is, he's meticulously internalizing patterns and lessons without drawing attention to it. The beauty of this trait is that it's completely under the radar. While specialists labor for years under scrutiny and expectation, the Sigma achieves mastery quietly, almost invisibly. No bragging, no certificates, no audience, just skill, competence, and the ability to excel when it matters. This habit of accidental mastery turns the Sigma male into a quietly formidable force. Versatile, adaptable, and unpredictably skilled, all because he overthinks, observes, and engages with the world in ways most people never notice or understand until it's too late. Number 10, he can mimic expertise without being a specialist. Sigma males have a unique talent. They don't need to become specialists to outperform specialists. Instead of diving endlessly into one field, they focus on functional mastery, learning just enough to handle any real-world challenge effectively. This allows them to appear as experts without being bound by the constraints, overcomplications, or ego-driven habits that often trap true specialists. They understand what matters most in practice and skip everything that is unnecessary. This ability comes from their analytical approach to knowledge. The Sigma identifies patterns, principles, and key strategies that deliver results, then internalizes them quickly. He doesn't memorize every detail or chase credentials. He absorbs what actually works and discards what doesn't. This makes him exceptionally efficient, able to adapt and perform in multiple areas simultaneously, while others who focus on depth in one niche struggle when faced with unpredictable scenarios. What makes this skill even more powerful is its stealth. People often underestimate the Sigma because he doesn't advertise his abilities or flaunt his knowledge. But when the situation demands it, he can step in and operate with the confidence and competence of someone who has spent years mastering the craft. To observers, it seems as if he has specialized knowledge, yet the truth is, he has simply learned how to replicate results without being consumed by minutiae. This functional mastery isn't superficial. It's practical intelligence applied effectively. He knows when to act, how to act, and what to ignore, giving him a performance advantage in almost any situation. Specialists may falter when the context shifts or when rigid expertise isn't enough. But the Sigma thrives because he can adapt fluidly, applying just enough skill and insight to achieve success. Ultimately, the Sigma male's ability to mimic expertise without being a specialist is a combination of strategy, observation, and adaptability. He doesn't chase credentials or perfection. He chases results. That's what makes him so versatile, so unpredictable, and so quietly formidable in any environment he steps into. Number 11, he rarely gets attached to methods. Sigma males don't worship routines, formulas, or traditional approaches. While most people cling to methods out of habit, comfort, or pride, the Sigma evaluates everything with a single lens: results. If a technique, process, or strategy stops being effective, he abandons it without hesitation. There's no sentimental attachment, no loyalty to how things should be done, only a pragmatic commitment to what works. This detachment from methods gives him a fluidity that most people can't even comprehend. This trait makes him exceptionally adaptable. In a world where rules, systems, and trends constantly change, he thrives because he isn't constrained by tradition or expectation. He doesn't waste time defending outdated processes or proving he followed the right steps. Instead, he experiments, adjusts, and optimizes relentlessly. That willingness to discard what no longer serves him allows him to move faster, respond smarter, and outpace anyone stuck defending their methods. It's not just about efficiency, it's about power. By refusing to become emotionally invested in techniques, the Sigma avoids the trap of tunnel vision. While specialists can be brilliant within a single framework, the Sigma sees the bigger picture, shifting approaches whenever necessary to maintain control and effectiveness. This makes him a problem solver on a level that often surprises those who underestimate him. There's also a subtle psychological advantage. People tied to methods often judge him as reckless or unpredictable, but in reality his detachment is deliberate. He's not capricious, he's strategic. Every discarded method is replaced by a more effective one, and every adjustment increases his autonomy. This mindset cultivates resilience and versatility, making him capable of thriving in chaos while others struggle to adapt. Ultimately, the Sigma male's refusal to cling to methods isn't a quirk. It's a philosophy. He values outcomes over appearances, results over comfort, and efficiency over tradition. By doing so, he becomes a force that's flexible, intelligent, and impossible to pin down, constantly evolving and improving while the world around him clings to the past. Number 12, he doesn't believe in single identity living. Sigma males refuse to confine themselves to a single label, role, or identity. While most people define themselves by one job, one social category, or one set of skills, the Sigma rejects these constraints entirely. He doesn't identify as just a professional, a hobbyist, or a social type. He experiments with multiple facets of life simultaneously. This freedom allows him to explore different skill sets, perspectives, and experiences without feeling trapped or limited by societal expectations. This approach gives him remarkable versatility. Because he isn't invested in maintaining a singular identity, he can switch roles effortlessly, adapt to new environments, and integrate new knowledge from unrelated fields. Whereas others see a boundary, the Sigma sees possibilities. Every skill, every interest, every persona he explores adds to his mental and practical toolkit, making him a multi-dimensional operator in every area of life. There's also a psychological advantage. By refusing to tie his sense of self to any single label, he avoids the rigidity that comes from identity-based thinking. He isn't threatened when others challenge him, when circumstances change, or when he needs to reinvent himself. Instead, he thrives on flexibility, using it to accumulate experiences and insights that others cannot, because they are confined by what they are supposed to be. This rejection of single identity living also fuels his unpredictability. People often attempt to categorize him, only to find that every label falls short. One moment he's excelling in a technical skill, the next he's navigating social dynamics effortlessly, and the next he's solving problems that seem outside his range. This fluidity makes him both fascinating and intimidating to those around him. Ultimately, the Sigma male's refusal to live within a single identity is not just a preference, it's a strategy. It liberates him from limitations, encourages continuous growth, and allows him to pursue multiple paths simultaneously. By rejecting labels, he becomes free to explore, adapt, and excel in ways that most people never even consider, turning versatility into a core part of his power. In the end, the Sigma male is a living paradox, a man who appears to wander casually through life, yet carries within him a reservoir of skills, knowledge, and insights that most people spend decades trying to acquire. He is not bound by convention, not limited by labels, and not impressed by accolades. Every action, every skill, Every decision is purposeful, even when it seems accidental to the outside world. From learning out of boredom to building a mental library of mistakes, from reverse engineering people to collecting competencies silently, the Sigma male thrives in ways that are as subtle as they are extraordinary. His versatility is not just a collection of talents, it is a strategy, a philosophy, and a lifestyle. It is what allows him to move effortlessly across disciplines, adapt to unpredictable circumstances, and maintain autonomy in a world designed to impose limitations. What makes the Sigma truly remarkable is not the sheer number of skills he possesses, but the way he applies them. He doesn't chase mastery for recognition, he chases understanding. He doesn't cling to methods, he follows results. He doesn't fear reinvention, he craves it. Every ability, every lesson, every insight is a tool for independence, a step toward freedom, and a means of silently shaping the world around him while remaining untouchable. To observe a Sigma male in action is to witness a man who has quietly transcended the ordinary, who operates with a precision, flexibility, and intelligence that is impossible to ignore once recognized. If this breakdown of the Sigma male has opened your eyes to the extraordinary, make sure you don't miss out on more content like this. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button to show your support, drop your thoughts in the comments so we can hear your perspective, and share this video with anyone who wants to understand the true mechanics behind the Sigma mindset. The world of the Sigma male isn't just fascinating, it's a blueprint for mastery, independence, and unparalleled versatility, and you deserve to see every layer of it. Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning of uncovering what makes a Sigma male not just a jack of all trades, but a force to be reckoned with.